This leads me to your Street Fighter V review, where you stated it is easily, hands down, the best looking Street Fighter ever. And during your review, you stated, and I quote, gamers, a lot of them are very spoiled and have a
Yes.
sense of entitlement, and it's ugly. Now, what do you say to the gamer who feels if they pay $60 for a video game, they are entitled to expect the game to work out of the box and contain the content released in previous versions?
You brought Street Fighter 5. You're not buying Street Fighter 4. You're not buying Street Fighter 3. Street Fighter 5 is a different game. And that's what I mean by spoiled gamers. Like, if something has been in a game franchise for so long,
If you don't know where you came from or aren't willing to do the history on where we came from,
you brought Street Fighter 5. You're not buying Street Fighter 4. You're not buying Street Fighter 3. Street Fighter 5 is a different game.
if you don't know where you came from or aren't willing to do the history on where we came from, now, what do you say to the gamer who feels if they pay $60 for a video game, they are entitled to expect the game to work out of the box? They are entitled to expect the game to work out of the box. They are entitled to expect the game to work out of the box.
Street Fighter 5, you have the first day when it came out, the servers had crashed. It was
Yeah.
down. It was down for a day or a
Mhm.
day and a half at tops, but it was down for that. Then they had a few hours where they did a maintenance thing where they made an announcement, and the game has been smooth ever since. So my thing is, for a game to come out and it went down for a day and a half, and then it went back up and it's been great ever since. Damn, they are on their job. They are on their job. They are on their job.
Okay, well, Capcom's Yoshinori Ono did issue an apology for its server issues. Did issue an apology for its server issues. Did issue an apology for its server issues. Do you feel that was necessary?
Nope. I'm gonna tell you why that's not necessary, right? Because to me that was a PR move to appease the audience because people feel like I spent money, this and that. Let me tell you something about all this whole spending money shit. Nobody put a gun in your head and told you buy Street Fighter 5. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you ain't want to buy it, don't buy it. But if you buy it, know what you're buying and deal with it. They need us more than ever to make certain things happen. And that's what I'm trying to educate and make people understand. But nobody want to hear it because they felt they spent money this, they spent money that. I would tell anybody right now, if you work at a clothing store, you work anywhere, and your boss tell you, look, I need you to work overtime, whatever, right? But I can't pay you. But I need you to do this and stuff like that. There's a lot of people that be like, what? I ain't doing it. You ain't paying me, I ain't doing it. You wanna know why? Because they don't have no passion for the culture of working in that store. They don't care about it. They just there to get a check and that's it.
So it is, in your opinion, Street Fighter V's 16 characters, 10 stages, a survival mode, and an upcoming cinematic story to be released as free DLC in June 2016 should indeed suffice anyone's concerns about the game's lack of content?
Well, here's my thing. I don't feel it's lacking any content at all. I don't feel it's lacking any content at all. I don't feel it's lacking any content at all.
This to me is one of the most disappointing videos I've ever watched on YouTube. We're talking about a guy who claims that he is a gamer, a guy who lied about owning 20,000 video games, a guy who lies about being credible, a guy who lies about being for the gamer. He wears a belt that says power to the players, and yet he puts no power to the gamers. He puts all the power into the hands of the developer, into the hands of the corporation, not into the hands of the consumer. And this right here is just downright embarrassing. To think that gamers don't deserve a completed project is something that I can't even imagine anybody who really cares about gaming thinking or even saying. We deserve completed games. We deserve a completed product for our money. And he wants to talk about he doesn't care about this whole self-entitled and spoiled gamer. It's not being self-entitled. It's not being spoiled. Gaming, for some stupid reason, is the only industry on the planet that when the consumer buys a product with their hard-earned money, it is considered acceptable for it not to be finished, to be acceptable for it not to be complete, for it to be acceptable for it not to be up to par. Imagine if Apple released the iPhone 7 and it didn't have features the iPhone 5 had. Imagine a new tablet which didn't have features a tablet 8 years ago had. Technology is supposed to progress, not regress. And you want to sit up here and make every excuse in the world for these companies. We're tired of it. We're tired of you. We're tired of these publishers. We're tired of these developers. When we pay our money, we want a finished, complete product. Now, gamers understand that flaws can happen and issues can happen on launch. But again, you want to compare all these different scenarios to gaming which aren't applicable. Because one, when a game is finished, a game has to go gold. A game has to be shipped out. A game is in a final, completed state as deemed by the developers and the publishers before it reaches the hand of the gamer. And if it's not in a valid state, if it's not in a proper state, then guess what? They shouldn't ship us the product. Would a clothing store ship you a shirt that was ripped in half? No, they wouldn't. Would a restaurant serve you a meal that's half completed? No, they wouldn't. But when it comes to gaming, you want to make every excuse imaginable for why you shouldn't be pro-consumer and why you should be pro-corporation. You are nothing but a corporate sellout.